Hello and welcome. So while we're waiting for a few people to come on, I'm going to play a little game while we're waiting for people to come on. And you don't have to answer because you can unmute yourself if you want to, or you could type it in the chat, but you can just say it in your head. So we're going to play a little fun game, okay? I'm going to play a chord. You're going to look at my hand and listen to it and see if you can guess and see if you can figure out what chord it is, right? I don't know. I just feel like playing a fun game. So here we go. Before we do any work, any hard uke work, let's do a fun game. So you know what chord this is? I'll just hold my hand there for a second. All right. If you said C chord, you were correct. Okay. So next up, let's see what chord I want to do next. Hold on. All right. Here's the next one. See if you can see my fingers. Can you see my fingers okay? Here we go. I wouldn't play it like this. I would really play it like this, but I want you to see that I'm using two fingers. There you go. Okay. If you said that that was an F chord, then you were correct. Okay, so let's go on. Here's the next one. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. So what chord am I playing? Here comes Charlie. That is, if you said A minor, you were correct. One more. Here we go. So I'm going from here. It's our last one. Whoa. Might have to stop and tune this. Using three fingers. If you said G7, you were correct. So, this might need to be tuned again. So this, let me just show you what I have here. I have this cool that I got for my birthday. This is a this is an Enya Flight. This is a travel uke where you can really take it anywhere. So which is pretty cool. So I'm going to show you my little tuner right here. You can kind of see it up here in the corner a little bit. There we go. Okay. So let's see. So I'm going to start. Ooh, there's my G. Okay, and then my C. I love this app. And then my E. And then my A. Okay. So there's several apps that you can get for your to tune your uke. I use several different apps for several different reasons. When I'm tuning something that's never been tuned before, I don't use this app. I use a chromatic tuner. So, but this one is new and it's just learning how to hold a tune. So I might have to stop and tune it a little bit, but that's okay. It'll just review for you how to tune it also. So what I'm trying to do today is go over our chords, review them, review hand positions. I want to actually review your strumming as well, just some basic strumming, because we're going to be doing the 30-day challenge, and you're going to learn a lot of songs in a short amount of time. So let's go over just your basic when you're strumming. Let me see. I used this chair on purpose so I could spin around so you could see. And notice I'm hitting with this part of my nail. I'm not hitting with the full on part of my nail. So these are some little tips that I want you to think about. Whenever you're strumming. See, I don't have a whole lot of nail, but what I have here, I just use the side. Now when I come back, with my strum, it's really with the fleshy part of my hello. There's a cat in the back. So there's a fleshy part of your finger. That's really what I use. I kind of go down. Now my thumb is really just supporting my finger. Okay, it's almost like I'm holding a pick. If you try to move your hand around into strange positions, just when you come down, so just nice and relaxed. So today we're going to go over going from one chord to the next, and hopefully we will add our bonus chord at the end, our G chord. Because there's several ways that you can play the G chord. It depends on where you're coming from. So let's practice our C chord. Let's practice the island strum first. Actually, let's just practice a down strum. That's right. Now, what I'm going to do is a screen share. And I think everybody has this, but regardless, I'm just going to do a screen share so that we can all look at the same thing. So we're going to go from a C chord to an F chord today. So we're just going to do that C chord. You see that C chord here? Now, it has you use your middle finger. I do not recommend your middle finger. I recommend your ring finger. So here we are, ring finger. I'm going to stop the share, and then we're going to show you this F chord here. We're going to hit those two. Let me just stop the share. And for your F chord, just a big review. Your pointer finger, first fret, second string, like that. And then your middle finger, second fret, fourth string, top string, the one closest to your face. Okay. Now this is a big review, so you've probably had this before, but I want to be sure we have it. I'm going to do the screen share really quick just to review the G7 finger position. And the G7 is right here where we use I'm going to stop the share. You see what it looks like on the tablature there. And here we go. What I did was I took my ring finger, I moved it over one. I took my middle finger, and it is on the third string, second fret. And I took my pointer finger, and it is on the second string, first fret. And when you look down at it, it kind of looks like a triangle. There you go. And took my middle finger, I put it on the top string, which is the 4th string, 2nd fret, 1, 2, 2nd fret. Okay. All right. Now, the best way to practice going from chord to chord is using a metronome. And this is my little metronome that I got. Oh, that was upside down. This is the metronome that I'm using. I love it. It's a Metro Pitch by Cleek. So here we go. One of the things I like about it is it has a volume button on it. So I'm going to turn it all the way up so you can hear it. Oh, there we go. Doesn't want to stand up. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to put on 62. There we go. 62. Now, before we strum, I just want to do a really good strum practice for you. So, first things first, loosen up your back and your shoulders a little bit. There you go. And take a big deep breath in and let it out slow. There you go. And here's what we're going to do. Before we start, just let's get in a C position. So get yourself all ready to play a C chord. And then we're just going to go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now let's do the same thing counting to 4. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and good. Now we're just going to do a down strum. What I'm trying to teach you to do is to keep a steady beat and keep going. So we're going to add some chords to this in a minute, but for now let's just do it on the C chord. So count out loud using the ands, but we're only going to strum down on the numbers like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See how that works? Excellent. So that's going to help you later with putting words to melodies, and it's going to help you really keep a steady beat. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. Let's do it for 3. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 stop. Let's go back and do it with 2. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 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 1 and stop. Wait a minute. Hello, Miss Maggie. Looks like we have a visitor. Okay, so this time, let's do this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're going to do it in 4, okay? So this time, come up on your ands, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 stop. Excellent. Okay, this time let's do it for 3. Okay? 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 stop. Do it for 2. 1, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and stop. Good. Now, let me just turn this metronome off for a minute. Excellent. Now, I had that on, I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. I had it on 60. Show you something else in a second. But what it's important to do is, here's another little technique I wanted to show you, and then we're going to practice switching from chords to chords with some different rhythm strums. But what's really important to be sure that you do is lead with your knuckles. Now, I don't mean go like this. Just, it's a very subtle. So you don't want to just, it's not just wrist. It's not just arm. It's a very gentle, and don't try to strum too hard, because your fingers will, especially if you get too far, your fingers will get stuck in between the strings. So it's just a gentle movement. Just let your knuckles kind of gently lead you up and down. That will also keep you from getting really tight in your wrist and such. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the chord chart, and we're going to go from one chord to the next. I'm going to turn the metronome on, so let me just share my screen, and let's see. Excellent. Okay, so you should be looking at this chord chart here, and let's see. So what we're going to do, let me turn the metronome back on. And this is tricky. I'm going to slow it down though, because it is a little tricky. I'm going to slow it down to 52. Okay. So the metronome is now at 52. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to go from one chord to the next. We're going to do 4 strums on the C chord, and then we're going to switch and do 4 strums on the F chord, and then we're going to switch and do 4 strums on the G7, and then we're going to do 4 on the A minor. So we're going to go from this chord to this chord to this chord to this chord. Okay. And this is our beat. We are at 52 on the metronome, and we're going to count out loud, but just strum on the down. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F and 2 and 3 and G7 and 2 and 3 and 4, A minor, and stop. Okay, let me turn the metronome off for a minute. It seemed a little fast. I'm going to go, we'll do the same thing again. And this time, instead of slowing the metronome down, we'll do 2 measures of 4. So we'll do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4, then switch to F. 1. So let's stay on that chord just a little bit longer. And while you're on the chord, I want you to start getting accustomed to thinking ahead to the next chord. So while you're strumming away on that C chord, be looking ahead and thinking in your head about that F chord. Okay. Now it's important to count out loud because you want to get used to singing at the same time. I know it's a lot, right? But we can do it. Here we go. Here's the C chord. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G7, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. Okay, let's see. Stop this power button here. All right. Now this time, let's go faster with our strum. Let's go ahead and strum on every one, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So as we strum, we're going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and think ahead and F and if you're not there on time, you've got 8 beats to get there. So if you're not there on time, don't worry about it. Just keep fiddling and fussing with your fingers till you get there. No big deal. Yeah, so let's go ahead and start. Please try to count your ands as you go. And let's try that. 2 beats of 4, 2 measures of 4 on each chord. So here we go. And strum those eighth notes back up on your upward stroke. Down on your number, up on the and. Here we go. Let me turn the metronome on. 1 and 2 and ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G7 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A minor, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. Okay. Now I'm going to keep the metronome on. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. Let me stop the share. Oh no, I'm not going to stop the share. I wanted to give you that bonus chord today, right? So let's go ahead and talk about the G chord. Yeah, I am going to stop the share so I can show you the G chord. The G chord, now I don't use the G chord a lot, but there are a few pieces that do use the G chord. So we should learn it because there's basically 3. Let me just share the screen with you one more time. There's basically 3, and everybody in the class has this PDF already. If you need another one, I can send it to you, no problem. There's basically 3 chord families, and once you get a few down, you basically know them. This E minor and the D7, these are not hard chords, and we're going to learn those this fall. This is your G chord. They're part of the G family. You already know the C chord. And then when you go to the F family, the C7, you just move down 1, and then there's the B flat. So there's not that many more chords to learn. And then you've basically learned enough chords to really, really learn, play almost whatever that you want. So I want to go ahead and start the G chord family today with just the plain G chord and not the G7. Now I'm going to stop the share and just let you hear what a G chord sounds like on the piano. Okay. And here's what a G7 chord sounds like. Right? So this is the chord we're actually playing now, and this is the chord we want to learn. We want to learn just the plain G chord. So what you do is you're normally used to playing your C chord with your ring finger here on your 3rd fret. Okay? On your 1st string, 3rd fret. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that same finger and you're going to move it up 1 fret to here. And so this is the way that I do it. Now you can finger it one of 2 ways. So you want to make this triangle with your fingers so that you have the 2nd fret, the 1st and 3rd strings you have to push. So you can either do it this way or you can do it this way. I find this way a little bit more comfortable. I find having my middle finger on the 2nd on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and my pointer finger on the 1st string, 2nd fret, I find that more comfortable. But it does matter where you're coming from. So this is one of those chords where you should probably learn more than one fingering. But this is my fingering of choice. I like my middle finger on top. Whoa. Needs to be tuned already. So that is your G chord. So let me go ahead and share the screen real quick. And oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and tune for you again, just so that you can see how to do it with this app. This is a really good app. I hope you have this app, everyone. There you go. That's why it sounded so horrible. There we go. So when you buy a new uke like this, you do have to tune it over and over again. And sometimes I have to stop in the middle and tune it. Hopefully that will clear itself up. But okay, so back to the G chord. So you go from your C, move that finger, your ring finger, up 1 string. So I moved from the 1st string to the 2nd string. Okay? And then I put my other 2 fingers on the 2nd fret, 1st and 3rd string. And you can use your middle finger on top, or you can use your 2nd finger on top, your pointer finger on top. This, I'm going to share the screen. This particular one has you putting your pointer finger on top, which I don't particularly, I like my middle finger on top. There we go. And remember what I told you before, that if you, so if you're getting a little bit of a twang sound, sometimes it's not that you're not pushing hard enough. You just sort of need to roll that string just a little bit. So remember, don't try to strum straight down like this. Strum sort of with a little bit more of the side of your nail, and then you come up with the finger, with the fleshy part of your finger. Like that, okay? That's my G chord. Let me show you one more time. C is here. I brought my ring finger up. My middle finger is on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. And my pointer finger is on the first string, second fret. There you go. There's your G chord. I would turn the metronome on probably at about 45 and practice saying your ands out loud, going from C to G7. I mean to G. There it was. I wasn't rolling my string. So if you roll that string, there you go. Um, uh, Hello there, Charlie. All right, everybody. That is all for today. And if you would like to come to a strumming class next week, it'll be our last Sunday, and then we are going to switch to Mondays at 7. So next week will be our last Sunday. If anyone is interested, let me know. And we're going to do a class on strumming. So that I think that'll be really good. And this will be really helpful. And we'll review the G chord again. This will be really helpful before we start the 30-day challenge. All right, everyone. I'll see you next time.